Today the class is on cerebrum. So first, what do you mean by cerebrum? The cerebrum, it forms the largest part of the brain. If you look into the location wise, it lies in the fossa, that is called as the cranial fossa, in the anterior, middle and the posterior cranial fossa. So in the cerebrum, we'll look into all these features. Okay, first we have to look about the gross anatomy, the sulci and gyri present in it, functional areas, white matter, and then comes the ventricular system. So the today's class will look into cerebral cortex, where we are looking about gross features, sulci and gyri present, and the functional areas present in the cerebrum. Okay. Now you can see in the figure here, what you are looking here, it is a part of the cerebrum. You are looking, it is the largest part. You can see here, it is the largest part of the brain. So you can see here, it consists of two cerebral hemispheres. These are the two cerebral hemispheres separated by incomplete by longitudinal cerebral fissure. You can see here a fissure present here. This is the fissure you are looking. This is called as a longitudinal fissure, which separates the two cerebral hemisphere. So this is a cut section where you are looking when you cut the part of the cerebrum, you look into two regions there. The center part is called as a white matter and the peripheral part is called as a grey matter of the cerebrum. Okay, next. From here, we are looking about the cerebrum. What you look here is the cerebrum consists of lobes. There are 4 lobes in the cerebrum. The 4 lobes in cerebrum are called as frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and occipital lobe. How the lobes we divide is, first you have to draw the part of the cerebrum. So if I will draw a diagram, this is the cerebrum you are drawing. Okay, draw a cerebrum. Next, what you draw in the upper part, you can see here, you draw one sulcus called as the central sulcus. Okay. After drawing the central sulcus, next you can see a sulcus here. This is called as the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. Okay. After drawing it, next is, you can see here, this is called as a parieto-occipital sulcus, and here comes a pre-occipital notch. So remember, first 4 points you have to remember. First you draw the central sulcus. Next, posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. Next, parieto-occipital. This is a parietal region. This is the occipital. So we call it a parieto-occipital sulcus. In front of the occipital, it is called a pre-occipital notch. After drawing this, you draw a imaginary line. So first imaginary line joining the parieto-occipital sulcus to pre-occipital notch. Can you see an imaginary line there? You can see the imaginary line there. So join that. Joining the parieto-occipital sulcus with the pre-occipital notch. Next imaginary line, second imaginary line from the posterior lateral sulcus joining the first imaginary line. So this will divide the cerebrum into 4 lobes. So what are the 4 lobes you see here? In front of the central sulcus, the lobe is called as a frontal lobe. You can see in front of the central sulcus, the lobe is called as a frontal lobe. Behind the central sulcus, that lobe you see is called parietal lobe. Okay. Below the second imaginary line, this part we call it as temporal lobe. And the last, parieto-occipital pre-occipital notch, that part you see, that is called as the occipital lobe. So learn here, there are, what you see here is the 4 lobes. In front of central sulcus is called a frontal lobe. Behind the central sulcus is called a parietal lobe. Joining the first imaginary line between parieto-occipital sulcus and pre-occipital notch is called occipital lobe. Below the second image, it is called as a temporal lobe. So there are 4 lobes. frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal lobes. So cerebrum consists of 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal lobes. Okay, see here. Here you are looking the lobes of the brain, same way. See, you can see the central sulcus here. This is the posterior ramus or lateral sulcus, parieto-occipital notch and pre-occipital notch. So you can see here. So frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal lobe. These are the lobes of the cerebrum. Occasionally, interior, you will see one part, there is a fifth lobe called as the insula. Okay. Then comes the poles of the brain. The poles are frontal pole, occipital pole and the temporal pole. These are the poles of the cerebrum. Okay, see, this is the hidden part of the brain, cerebrum you are looking, that is called as the insula. Okay, after that, next important thing you have to know on the superolateral surface of the cerebrum. Okay. Before that, I'll tell you about little bit. What you see is, in the brain, if you look here, see there are three poles I told: anterior frontal and basal temporal and posterior occipital poles. Okay. After that, you have to look about the border. So this is called as a one border called as the superior border, otherwise called as superior medial border, inferior lateral border and the inferior medial border. Okay. So this border will separate, will give rise to surfaces. So the surface what you're looking, the surface of the cerebrum, this surface is called as superolateral surface. Next, on the medial side you see medial and the below the part is called the inferior surface. Okay, so remember the cerebrum consists of borders. The borders are superior medial border, inferior lateral and inferior medial border. The surface what you are looking here, it is called as the superolateral surface. Then, if you look in this part of the cerebrum, you can see the surface of the cerebral cortex present irregular elevation. Can you see some irregular elevation here? So, these elevation are called as gyri. You see the gyri, and the gyri are separated by a linear depression. You can see the depression part here. These are called as sulci. So, know what do you mean by gyri and sulci? Gyri are elevated part of the cerebrum. The gyri are separated by depression part. The depression part are called the sulci. So, there are sulci and gyri present in cerebrum. Okay, next we are looking on to the main part of the cerebrum, that is on the superolateral surface of the cerebrum. So, what you look here is, see here, this is the superolateral surface of the cerebrum. This is divided. If you look the superolateral surface of the cerebrum, you can see here it is divided into so many sulci, and you can see the gyri and the sulci. You see the gyri and sulci present on the superolateral surface of the cerebrum. So, we will start learning on the superolateral surface of the cerebrum. So, see here, first you have to draw the cerebrum. After that, same thing, you draw the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. Next, you have to draw the sulcus called as this sulcus, called as central sulcus. Then, the same thing, parieto-occipital sulcus here and pre-occipital notch. Okay, parieto-occipital sulcus and pre-occipital notch. Okay. Next, see, in front of the central sulcus, we call it as precentral sulcus. Behind the central sulcus, we call it as postcentral sulcus. In front of the central sulcus, we call precentral sulcus. Behind the central sulcus, we call it as postcentral sulcus. So, the gyri we call it as same. This is called as precentral gyri. This is called as a postcentral gyri. So two gyrus, precentral gyrus and postcentral gyrus. Okay, next. Coming to the next part here, you are seeing this lobe. This is called as which lobe? This is called as a frontal lobe. So this is a frontal lobe you are looking. So what do you see here is the two sulci there, superior frontal sulcus and inferior frontal sulcus, which will divide the frontal lobe into three gyrus: superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus and inferior frontal gyrus. So you can see three gyrus there: superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus and inferior frontal gyrus. Okay, next in this part you see here, this is called as a lateral, this is the lateral sulcus. Okay, so lateral sulcus is called anterior ramus, and this is the anterior ramus, ascending ramus, and this is the posterior ramus. So lateral sulcus, three are the anterior, ascending and posterior ramus. So these are the part. Okay, this is about the frontal lobe you have seen. Next you are looking about the parietal lobe. This is a parietal lobe you are looking. So you draw a horizontal line here which will divide in two lobes. That is called as the superior parietal lobule, and one more is called as the inferior parietal lobule. There are two lobes. Above it is called as superior parietal lobule. Below is called as the inferior parietal lobule. The next, coming to the temporal lobe. In the temporal lobe, again three: superior temporal sulcus and inferior temporal sulcus, which are divided into three: superior temporal gyrus, middle temporal gyrus and inferior temporal gyrus. So that will divide it in three parts: superior temporal gyrus, middle and the inferior temporal gyrus. Next is the occipital lobe. If you look a half moon shaped, here you can see, that is called as a lunate sulcus. This is called as a lunate sulcus. Next, the lateral occipital sulcus is here, which will divide into superior occipital gyrus and inferior occipital gyrus. So these are the parts you are looking in the cerebrum, that is on the superior lateral surface of the cerebrum. So once again I will revise. So first you have to draw the central sulcus here, then posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. So first we look into this part. So in front of the central sulcus, it is called as a precentral sulcus. Behind the central sulcus is called as a postcentral sulcus. Same. The area is called a precentral gyrus. Area is called postcentral gyrus. Next, in the frontal lobe, it is superior frontal sulcus, middle frontal sulcus. So this part is divided into superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus and inferior frontal gyrus. Then the lateral ramus is divided into anterior and ascending ramus, which is divided in a part called as pars orbitalis. You can see here pars orbitalis, pars triangularis and pars opercularis. You have to name this, okay? Pars orbitalis, pars triangularis and pars opercularis. Next, coming to temporal lobe, superior temporal sulcus, inferior temporal sulcus, which will divide into superior temporal gyrus, middle temporal gyrus and inferior temporal gyrus. Next, here is the temporal lobe, intraparietal sulcus. This is called intraparietal sulcus, which will divide it into superior parietal lobule, inferior parietal lobule. The last, in the occipital lobe, lunate sulcus and the here lateral occipital sulcus in superior occipital gyrus and inferior occipital gyrus. These are about the structural classification of the cerebrum. Okay, same. Central, lateral, parieto-occipital sulcus, precentral, superior inferior frontal sulcus, postcentral, transverse parietal sulcus, superior inferior temporal, transverse occipital, lateral and lunate sulcus. You have to mention all this and explain in the beautiful diagram there. Okay, next, functional areas of cerebrum. We will look into the functional areas of the cerebrum. So here, You can see here, this is about the functional area. So according to Brodmann's, the cerebrums are classified, are given the numbers, okay. So these are called as, according to Brodmann's number, the superior lateral surface of the cerebrum, it is number. So you can see here, the numbers are, if I tell you, see, you know this one, this is the central sulcus, behind it is the post-central sulcus. So this is the sensory area. So this area is named as 312. Can you see here, this is the 312. In front, if you see the central sulcus, it is a motor area, area number 4. And in front of it, premotor area, area number 6. Then the pars orbitalis, pars triangular, pars opercularis, if you look, that is named, number as motor speech area, or we call it as Broca's area, motor speech area Broca's, which is numbered as 44 and 45. This number is 44 and 45. Okay, next it is the Wernicke speech area, that is the Wernicke speech area is area number 21. You can see here, in the lies in the superior temporal gyrus. You can see this is in the superior temporal gyrus, so it is numbered as 22. That is called a Wernicke speech area. Next, if you look into the visual area, if you look into the lunate sulcus, do you remember? That is a visual area, that is area number 17. Visual area. And psychovisual area, that is association area, it is area number 18 and 19. This is called as the 18 and the 19 number. So you have to learn all this number. So if I tell you again, sensory area 312, motor area, area number 4, area number 6, area number 8 is frontal eye field, then Broca's, motor speech area Broca's, number 44 and 45. Wernicke's area, Wernicke sensory speech area, area number 22 in superior temporal gyrus. Then visual area, area number 17. That is called area number 17, which is seen in the occipital lobe, and associations 18 and 19 is this one. So this is about the functional areas of cerebrum. So you can see here, first one, motor area, area number 4, situated in precentral gyrus and adjoining part of paracentral lobule. What is the function of it? It is a motor area. So you know corticospinal tract. Function, it controls the voluntary movements of the opposite side of the body. It will control the voluntary movements of the opposite side of the body. Then premotor area, area number 6 and 8, situated in front of motor area. Function, this area is responsible for fine movement. So remember, motor area, area number 4, voluntary movement, where it is located, in which gyrus you have to know, precentral gyrus. Okay, whereas the premotor area, okay, this is for the fine movement. Next important thing here, you have to know about motor speech area Broca's, area number 44 and 45. It lies in the inferior frontal gyrus. We have looked, see here, it lies in the inferior frontal gyrus, in the, that you have drawn that, called a pars triangularis, pars opercularis. There is area number 44 and 45. You have to know which area is 44 and which area is 45. Okay, inferior function. The main function of the motor speech area is function, movements of face, lips, larynx and the vocalization. The main related to motor speech area. So face is important, lips and larynx and vocalization. So this is called as a motor speech area of Broca's. Then frontal eye field, area number 6, 8 and 9. It is located in the middle frontal gyrus. Function, causes both eyes to move in opposite side. It will cause both eyes to move in the opposite side. Conjugate movement. Okay, sensory area, area number 312. That is situated in post-central gyrus. So remember, precentral it is motor, post-central it is sensory area. Situated in post-central gyrus and adjoining part of paracentral lobule. Function, it controls the sensory supply of the opposite half of the body. The next, visual area, area number 17, which is located in the occipital lobe on the medial surface above and below the sulcus, called as the calcarean sulcus. One more is there, psychovisual area, area number 18 and 19, seen above and below the visual area. Function, interpretation of visual impulse. So I have to mention all this thing and write. Motor. Okay, so what we have discussed about motor area, premotor area, motor speech area of Broca's, frontal eye field, sensory area and visual area and psychovisual area. All this area you have to mention and tell where the location is and what is the function of it. Okay, psychovisual area. Okay, seen. The next auditory area, area number 41. Area number 41 lies in superior temporal gyrus along the floor of the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. Function, receive auditory impulse and interprets them as sound. Then Wernicke's sensory speech area, area number 22, superior temporal gyrus. Function, associated with comprehension of speech. Okay, so all these things, areas you have to mention. Okay, so what you have discussed there, the same thing you are looking here. See, draw the diagram. So draw the diagram. First, draw the central sulcus. Area in front of it is called a motor area. Primary motor area. Area behind is called as sensory area. Area number 312. Primary motor area, that is called 4. In front of it is frontal eye field. You can see here. These are two sulcus, superior temporal and inferior. So the area in the middle temporal, middle frontal gyrus is area number 8, frontal eye field. Next, motor speech area. This one. It is in the, we have drawn here, pars triangularis and pars opercularis in the inferior frontal gyrus. So area number 44 and 45. That is called motor speech area or Broca's area, we call it. Then next in the superior temporal gyrus, you can see here, superior temporal gyrus, it is area number 22. That is called a Wernicke's speech area, area number 22. Here. Then after that is the next one in this calcareous lunate, that is called visual area, area number 17, in front of it 18 and then comes 19. Then sensory speech area, this is also 39 and 40, you have to name. So look into the diagram and learn and practice this diagram for the learning for the functional areas on the superior lateral surface of the left cerebral hemisphere. You can see the number and you can know what are the areas also. It is labeled here. So learn about the areas also. Okay. To summarize, today the class is on the cerebrum. So what we have looked about we have to know that it is the largest part of the brain. So the largest part of the brain, it is cerebrum. So there are two cerebral hemisphere, right? The two cerebral hemisphere are separated by fissure. That fissure is called as a longitudinal fissure. Okay. After that, we have looked into the lobes. There are 4 lobes. What are those called? Frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal. How these lobes are separated? By sulcus. One is called central, posterior ramus of lateral, parieto-occipital and pre-occipital notch. So draw that and divide it into 4 lobes. Then we have looked into the structural classification of cerebrum. So what you have learned about sulci and gyra. So learn about sulci and gyra, like central sulcus, pre-central, post-central and frontal gyrus. Like in the frontal lobe there are superior, middle and inferior frontal gyrus. Then about the pars orbitalis, pars triangularis, pars opercularis. Then in occipital lobe, again the lunate sulcus and calcarine. Then in temporal lobe, it is same. Superior temporal gyrus, middle and the inferior temporal gyrus. Okay, about that we have looked. Then the next we have looked about the functional areas of the cerebrum. So learn the number and where the location are present also you have to learn. About the motor area, area number 4. Then sensory area, area number 312. Then motor speech area, which is also called Broca's area, number 44 and 45. Wernicke's speech area, area number 21. Then visual area number 17, primary visual area, association visual area number 18 and 19. Then frontal eye field number 8, where you have to know where the location is and learn with the diagram. Okay, this is about today's class. We have completed with the cerebrum. Thank you.